Hello ladies and gents, I am Annihilate, and welcome to Distant Worlds Universe, playing with the Das Chrome Blue mod, with RetreatUE, and the Bacon mod, all of which are absolutely fantastic. The Chrome mod being an awesome graphical interface, taking assets from a fair number of games, most notably E for a lot of the weapon systems, and I've forgotten the other game for the other factors there, but a brilliant one from Daz there. And the RetreatUE mod is a part of the expanded universe mods and also combines a load of really nice tech changes to the game and works a lot better in my opinion. And Bacon mod is absolutely brilliant, changing a lot of the core mechanics of the games and doing a fair number of nice little things in the background and allowing a essentially console command to do some more advanced functions for a fair number of craft. It does also include a gravity well functionality for the various systems, but I am going to have that disabled because I found it a little bit clunky at times. It's good, but I would like a little bit more configuration with how that functions. Still, let us go into starting a new game. And so, we're going to be playing as a standard empire, and we're going to be playing a regular. And this game is a really vast 4X game. So we're going to be playing on Bacon Big, on a absolutely huge sectors. And this is going to be a really long game, and yeah, it's going to be quite painful. I've had a look at the research, and I normally like playing at very expensive. I do like the very slow, methodical research. Every research is a big improvement to the Empire. However, I am wanting to play Return of the Shakturi with this Let's Play. So that is why difficulty is going to stay at normal, because the Shakturi is hard. And it's doable. And I'm going to take this to normal, but I'm actually going to just manually modify it so it's around about 50% more expensive, rather than expensive which is double, just that little bit more expensive. So tech is a bit more expensive, but I'm not entirely sure how the Shakturi spawn in, but I do know that once they spawn, it is essentially a race against time. And when I did a test game, or the first game I played against the Shakturi, I had it on very expensive research costs, and I had okay tech when they attacked, but I had nothing. I was unable to tech up and face them while the battle was raging, and so I just died. Pirates I'm going to keep as normal. However, I am going to make them strong, because they are how strong they are and how fast they grow. So the pirates are going to be a pretty strong contender initially, and this is good, particularly for pre-warp. It gives a lot of facing off against all these pirate factions. It might regret it, but we will see, And it gives a little bit more things rather than just increasing the game difficulty. The independent alien life and colony presence both going to be normal, with 2,000 planets. There's going to be a lot anyway. Going to keep the colony influence range at 100% because it says it should reduce it. No, I like having a little bit more, so there's a little bit more border tension. And I'm going to keep colonization range down at 1 sector. I think by default it's 2, which I find is a little bit too much. I like to be able to keep all the actual colonies within a close proximity to each other. I usually sometimes reduce this more, but I think 1 sector is about okay. It prevents you from getting stuck anywhere. So I'm going to be playing Teekans. Now, RetreatUE does add in a huge number of factions, which is brilliant, because it means that there is a lot more interplay between the actual factions, because by default, you generally have the humanoid always meet up in that, and like because I'm actually playing as rodents, and you end up getting a very similar group of diplomacy each and every game. With this increased number of factions, there is a lot more mix-up amongst there, and particularly there's a couple of ones like the X-Humans. The X-Humans are designed specifically to be humanoids, so they join up, but then they absolutely hate the normal humans and end up going to war, which creates a crazy interwar situation, which I had happen in a game when playing with them. where basically everyone was in a random mutual defense pact, and then a war was declared, and the entire galaxy descended into chaos war, which was great fun. But the reason I'm going to play as Teekans, I do like the Akdarans for increased ship size, but the Teekans, they have slightly smaller ships, but what they do have is they are very industrialist mining, so they get a lot faster mining, which is great. Loads of resources, keeps things cheap, and just means you have more to be able to build with, and just I won't ever have to worry about resources at any point. They also add an extra 20% colony income, which is awesome. They then have small military ship sizes, which is annoying, and larger civilian, which is quite nice, but again a bit redundant. The faster construction speed and higher trade income, migration is useful, but they do also have the mercantile guild, so it is good fun. But yes, the 20% actual merchants and fasting mining is really rather nice. It allows you to have a very strong army. Then again, I could play as the Akdarans. You have absolutely colossal ship sizes and the nice turbo thruster. Not sure. I don't know. The thing is, the Teekans do have a mercantile guild. I had planned there's a mercantile guild, because if I was like down, I'd go with democracy, which has been adjusted with the RetreatUE mod. The research speed has been reduced a little bit, and the growth rate has also been reduced. I think that was actually positive normally, so yeah. But mercantile guild, you have reduction in maintenance costs, which is great. That's similar to what the Akdaran base normally has, and then a plus 70% to the colony income. Democracy has 60%, so I'm not sure. 20% research speed is nice, but I think I'll stay with the Teekans. They're playing as the ADF and an orange, and having this nice little system here, and I'm going to have a normal home system, not excellent. Starting tech level pre-war, and corruption is going to be normal. I think that sounds pretty good there. There are a very large number of factions. But yeah, we'll go with the Teekans. Other empires going to increase this upper load, probably to about 17, and allow independent colonies to become empires during the game. And most of them will, due to the sheer size of this actual galaxy. Victory conditions. Return of the Shakturi story events are enabled. So that's going to be very interesting. And I'm not going to allow tech trading, because that is really very exploitable. And so otherwise, seems pretty good. So let's start the game. Right then, so it took a couple of minutes for everything to start going, and we have Welcome to the Empire. We're in the Age of Shadows. Pirates, smugglers and mercenaries rule the galaxy. We're fairly undeveloped, but we are going to be able to go very quickly. So we need to get hyperdrives and colonization. So yeah, but the most important thing is to pause the game straight away, and then actually go into the ship designer and design a load of different craft. So we're at Nurlak Prime, and we're pretty far down to the edge. That's a bit irritating. I generally prefer slightly more central, but this huge galaxies are huge. Look at the size of this. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to try and maneuver around. But let's go over to the research screen and just make some adjustments. You can see nice layout of research, lots of things we can do, and the biggest improvements I found with the RetreatUE, actual adjustment of all this tech, is that it's a lot more sensible. You generally have upgrades of pretty much everything, and everything is, you have alternate paths, whereas the default one has lots of these diamond where you require multiple things to be able to get to the next tech, which is just really irritating. But I think weapons, armour is a good one to go for, and I think I'm going to be going for railguns. I do like railguns particularly initially, because they penetrate shields, and the pirates will have good shielding to start with. And by actually smashing straight through that shielding, I can essentially make them flee quite early on, which is really quite nice. Rather than shields, I'm going to change this to energy collection. Oh, I've already got a crash research project initiated in that. Wow, that was quick. Okay, well that's fine. Okay. Did I pay for that? No. Wow. Okay. That I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, crash research project straight on the shields. That's cool. It speeds it up by 3 times. That energy collection is very, very useful because that allows us to, well, do a lot more things there, but essentially being able to build things without using fuel, which is annoying to start with. But hopefully we'll get the warp field precursors early on. That's another big change with the RetreatUE and this mod setup. The hyperdrive is just a lot slower. So normally Garrick's hyperdrive, I think, is around 15,000, and it's only just slightly faster than the warp bubble, which I actually prefer. Slow travel times is interesting. Just gives a lot more tactical movement, I find. Over to the high-tech. Plant surveying, very useful. Allows scouts to scan at a longer range. Then I think probably medical and entertainment systems. This allows us to put these modules on our bases, our starports, and just make the populace a lot happier. Though I will be wanting to work towards things like the open trade network and just generally the wonders, because it really does help in this regard. I think enhanced storage systems and personnel transport as well. So we have currently 4K potential. There's something I do need to address with building spaceports. But I find the initial spaceports are not very good at all. So the small spaceport and the medium spaceport, not really going to be looking much to start with, because we're going to be using the large spaceport. So let's edit this and call it the Neuralac one. So Neuralac Space Dock, and this is going to be where we build most of our actual forces from. So it's going to be initially quite small, and then we can expand it going forwards. And then, so the Neuralac spaceport is pretty expensive, mainly because I've put all these research labs on it in one go. Kind of a bit ham, but it is useful to be able to have all of these techs in one go. It's actually reduced the number of crew. That should hopefully reduce, yep, reduces it down a little bit, I guess. Yeah, still 12 grand. It is a large spaceport, but that's good because it's going to be able to keep us around and alive. It's still, you know, a good price. The escorts are totally useless to find to start with because they're only a size 200 craft. The exploration ship, these things I do want to be able to be building as soon as possible. And let's have a look. Actually, that's pretty good like that. I might change the name from X1 Pathfinder, but I'll keep it like that for now. What I do need to change though is the private sector ships. And that is a very interesting thing about the game, is that you have the private sector and the state ships, and they are from 2 different economies. So the state is on this side, so that is my cash flow at the top, and then all other money you get from your colonies goes directly to the private sector, which is here. And then they utilise your spaceports and pay you to build their own ships, and that basically means like freighters and stuff to transport goods between your worlds and mining stations. And that's all funded by the private sector, which is awesome. So let's go and adjust these. So So these are what I'm going to be adjusting my haulers to. So they have a tiny little bit more cargo space, and just generally a little bit quicker. And importantly, I'll load more fuel, because low fuel ships are absolutely horrific. And then I don't find much difference between all the different size freighters, so I'm just going to make them all exactly the same. So 10 cargo bays, 10 of those, 10 fuel, and they'll be exactly the same. And same for the large. I'm never sure if this is a good idea, but it seems to work, so I'll keep it like this until I essentially see otherwise as to what is a good idea for various craft like this. But that keeps the maintenance down and all that. Importantly though, the mining ships... they just have absolutely minimal cargo, so I really need to try and increase that as much as possible, because, yeah, without that, they're horrifically bad. I'm not able to get much resources mined at all, because they're slow, and they just don't carry much. By upping the cargo capacity here, yeah, so it's maximum 300, so upping the cargo capacity here allows them to actually carry a usable amount of resources. There you go, this way, at least I do normally like increasing the number of extractors on them, but this way at least they'll be able to maneuver around and start actually filling up and, well, getting us resources. The private bases though, similarly, I want them to have more things here, and importantly I want them to have more fuel, because they will run out of fuel, and if they run out of fuel, there's nothing which they can do about it. Also change their weapon loadout from missiles to the basic railguns. So up their fuel capacity, up the cargo capacity, and increased another gas miner there. Good, good. Now we need to do the same with the ore mining station as well. Now I don't need to worry so much about the docking size of these, since they don't carry as much, they don't mine as quick. But again, I do need a lot of more fuel, so I'd like to double the amount of fuel, because without the energy collectors, they will drain fuel really rather quickly, and running out of fuel, they just stop working, which just kind of defeats the point. State bases, also the energy stations, all these platforms I will just strip down to their bare bones, because I don't want these platforms to be actually adjusting what we do much in terms of the energy and weapons research and all of that, because yeah, I want to keep the research mostly on the single home station. Don't want anything fancy going around. Good, the energy, weapons and high-tech research stations are reduced down, and finally the defensive satellite. I always like to keep the defensive bases really small. This is because I have stations built as a hub where all resources, and everywhere else will have a defense satellite or two, just to keep them, well, properly defended. But it's nothing really heavily powered at any point, because I don't really need it. I want to keep them nice and cheap, and so very easy to be built at a new colony without having to worry about anything difficult. The shipyards are the last things. These guys are a bit of annoyance, because I need them to go quick, and I need them to have a lot of fuel. Right, so here we go. The constructor, I've increased the cargo bay and also increased the thrusters and the fuel, so they're able to travel further. And so it now actually has a respectable speed. Let's save you. And now, let us build what we need. So we need a large spaceport. So it's the Neuralux space dock, because it's the only one of its kind. So we kind of need it. We then need 2 constructors and an unpause. I need to let the money tick over a little bit. I will then reduce the tax income. I just would like these couple of ships being built first of all, and particularly that spaceport, because then I can build exploration craft. What is this? It's abandoned. Huh. Very odd. Just having a look around at what I have in my system. So there is an abandoned light cruiser. I'm going to get that repaired up early on. There's a couple of space slugs. So the spaceport is constructed. Excellent. That means I can now build a couple of exploration craft. So I'm going to just use this build function. That's where I mostly build things here. So let's build those together. Excellent. So now I've got those being built, I'm going to go to my homeworld and 0 the tax rate to increase the population growth as much as possible. Right, starship constructed. Right, let's slow the game down. Let's actually move over here. Because this is abandoned, I think if I just move over here, it will actually just become mine. Which is really quite awesome. There's normally a ship. There is normally a ship in the system. First time I've actually seen or actual little gas mining, which is useful, but I normally use them to take out the space slugs. And there are the exploration ships. There we go. Abandoned base. So it is a gas mining station. Let's see what's on it. Quite nice. Got the gas extractors. Good stuff. Pulse blasters. And it's mining whatever's on that world. You, however, are going to head over and start work on that ship. Get that repaired, because it's a good powerful ship. Look at that. 450 firepower. Much, much higher than what we couldn't use. So I've already completed the research in shields because of that crash project which happened when I started the game. That's the earliest I've ever had it. I have often had a crash project start early on, and that's pretty impressive. Because already I can go to my actual private bases and edit these. Manual upgrade designs now because, well, they're in use. So start putting shields on things. Private ships. And yeah, so you can see I'm now getting big bonus income because the private sector are utilising my spaceport for constructing their ships, which is a very nice feature. It's something I really like in the game because it allows you to. We basically never run out of money in a certain sense because your private sector will always fund you. So it's not like if you fail to tax people, your money still exists. It's just not instantly available to hand. But it just doesn't. In a lot of games, if you don't tax someone properly, it just like disappears into the ether. At least here, it is going into the giant slush fund of the private sector, which I can then loot for income. So although my cash flow is low, because it's my bonus income from all of these ships, see all of these ships which the private sector have just ordered, I'm going to do very, very nicely. But I need to wait for things to occur. In fact, while I'm waiting for things to occur, I'm going to build myself another constructor. Another fleet auxiliary. The reason for that is I'm having one going over to repair this facility over here. I then need others to build all of the plans here. Oh, energy collection. Oh, it's got a crash project on the energy collection as well. That is amazing. Actually, we'll have a. So I want you to start counterintelligence. Nothing you can really do at the moment, but yeah, you'll do nicely for now. So you've picked up resources and you're probably going to go build, look at that, resources. So we have uranium, steel, lead and gold on this planet here. That is awesome. Because it's so close to the home world, along with this one actually. So that has hydrogen, calcium and helium. That's all the 3 fuel sources throughout the entirety of the game. So we're going to be good from fuel to start with. Let's go to, just try and upgrade the ship size. Because if I do this, then it will actually double the ship sizes, which is a really, really nice feature. And then we can go into all of the other just basic upgrading the technologies. They are big improvements. So you can see the thrust goes from 600 to 800, maneuvering thrust goes from 3 to 5. And those are just general upgrades which occur across everything. So again, yep, completed the research. That is good, because now I can go into all of the private bases and upgrade these to have passive actual power drain. So they will only drain power when firing their weapon systems, and in fact I can just probably reduce the fuel, so I don't need to carry as much fuel on them at once. So small fuel capacity, because the energy collectors are going to be doing the majority of the work there. Oh no, actually, if I ever build them in Nebula, I do need that extra fuel, so I'll put it back in there, so otherwise I will forget about it and then they'll start running out of fuel, which would be highly irritating. But yeah, this is one reason why I like having slower tech, because currently every other moment I'm having to pause the game and slam in a ton of tech. 12 energy collectors due to the sheer number of actual labs. They drain quite a lot of power, so from there, and then all of these as well could do with a energy collector. The private ships, you know what, I'll put it on them as well. It is admittedly less useful on ships, the collectors, because as ships are moving around, they drain power, and so it is less useful. But it's useful enough, I guess. Armor is almost completed already. Look at that, my ship's not even halfway across the system. Yikes. The faster researchers are very fast. So what's my research potential at the moment? Wow, that's I'm not even hitting my total research potential. Yikes. This is a very, very, very fast researching game. Gone queued up a load more other researchers, because, well, with shield armor and that in place, let's actually lob some of this on these ships as well. Standard armor is useful to have. It prevents the any early aggression from completely annihilating aircraft. Private bases, again, just needs that little bit on each individual ship. Oh, you're already in use, so I need to actually upgrade you. A bit of armor, a bit of shielding, state bases. There you go. Put that up to 40, so then I don't actually have to have an extra crew. Nice bit of arm defences there. Same for these other ones as well. Let's add a shield on to you as well. Actually, a couple of shields and 5 armor. Yeah, that would do nicely. Actually, the home spaceport hasn't got shields. I need to rectify that. No, the defense port is a bit tougher. The large spaceport, though, needs its shields. There you go. Got a large number of shields and a good amount of defensive armor now on this spaceport, which is good. It is more expensive now, but if we're going to update this shipyard, yeah, it's considerably more potent. Look at that! Look at the fuel draining. Wow, that is quite the fuel drain. It will automatically refuel from the system, but being able to upgrade like that, it's now running on energy collector, so it won't be draining fuel whatsoever. Excellent. No thanks, pirates. Right. So the pirates have instantly jumped into the world here. And this is why I like having this mod on. Because Bacon mod actually improves the range of all space stations. You can configure it. It's currently set at the default, which is double distance. And it just makes any land or ship space station considerably more effective, because by default they are not that good. Avoided the pirate raid. Okay. Yeah, because normally they're just like a ship which doesn't move, which makes them infinitely worse. At least this way, I have full weapon systems on board and are able to actually fire at the pirates. You see the railguns are penetrating straight through the shields and should actually start damaging the internal components of the enemy craft. So, seeing unknown status at the moment. Accuracy is fairly poor. It just increases up. Okay, they're sending their raiders down. But now, see, no hyperdrive. As soon as it gets close, yeah. So let's push the raiders back. Ooh, I think they're actually going to raid us. I think they're going to successfully raid, actually. That's annoying. Haven't got enough defenders on point. But the pirates have been completely annihilated, just because the spaceport was able to pass straight through the shields. So while I have shields, I was able to keep myself protected and deal damage through theirs. So technically they had a lot more firepower. I was able to face them off very handily with minimal losses to life, or actually any damage at all to my space station, which is really good. Though I think they're successfully gonna raid. Yep, they have successfully stolen a huge amount of resources. Look at all of those resources. That is painful. That was an absolutely painful amount of stuff lost. But we do now have a mining platform. So I have ancient knowledge. Warp field precursors. Yes. We'll finish up the enhanced ship sizes and go straight into warp field precursors and upgrade that quickly and efficiently, and then just do a couple of other basic things like here, and then enhance reactors, and then work towards the enhanced Garax drive. This will then allow us to move quickly between systems. I'm just keeping it on the large ship construction because, well, it's 67% complete already. Might as well finish it up. In fact, have we got enough money to crash? Not that crash, that one. Let's crash research this one. We do have enough money to actually crash research that project. Get that up and running as quickly as possible. How are we doing for our resources now, since we lost a lot? So, prices on adamantium's high, polymer's quite high. Carbon fibre is also high. That's going to be expensive. Yeah. My stockpile, I am negative on iridium, lead, and Necrosian essence. Lead and iridium is pain. Do we actually have a source of that in our colonies? I think we do. Yes, we do have iridium being built, and that is good. Ooh, we have demoralizing. Ugh. It's not genius, but Ultra Genius increases the output of Empire by 20%. So I kind of want to keep them around, but yeah, they're yeah. Look at it. Total research potential 629. Wow, that is insane. I need to upgrade my spaceport to be able to cope with that. Barely come out of my system. I haven't even come out of my system yet, and I'm already having to upgrade this by someone chronic to deal with all of the how many more of these power plants do I need? Load more. Large spaceport. Upgrade you again. I can maximise my research potential. Look at it, it's just growing more and more. Medical systems have been completed. That is useful because again I can upgrade the home station. Oh, the research potential has dropped down a little bit. The reason I want to have the medical bay and the recreation is that they make people happier on planet side. So if I save that and then upgrade the Nulak, the population will become happier with me. So we're foul. So recreational medical facilities +4. Yay! Resource shortages. Yeah, that's because the pirates actually invaded us. Let's just garrison 3 troopers. That should prevent any future pirate raids. We have found a load of credits. Yay! That is useful. I don't have enough to work on the precursors. Precursor tech, that's understandable, I guess. Oh, there is an abandoned ship over here. Excellent. You're going to head over and find that abandoned ship for me, which can then go and kill those space slugs. There you go. So, also information. So you can go back to being automated. A new prime affliction. Go destroy some stuff. So shortage of lead. We have krypton, argon, more helium. Yep, we actually even have a source of lead. There is at least a source of lead in our system, so we don't have to worry too much about running out of lead for our empire. That early pirate raid was a real pain. Engineers, recreation, yay! Similarly, let's put that on our spaceports. There you go. Spaceport has now been retrofitted with that extra happiness maker on it. Yep, recreation benefits still going up. As is the population. The population is only at 4 million. And how much money are we getting? Only 1k revenue. Nice. That will go up. Oh. Space Slug's going to attack her stuff. I'm doing a warning. I was expecting a warning. Okay. Come on, kill the space slug. Nice. Go on, kill that guy. You captain though. Come off that. And then I'm going to actually retire you. Hyperspace technology discovered. Yay! So, nearest shipyard. Right, what's that new scientist like? Methodical. I don't want to put them with the demoralizing. I want to keep this guy because he is an ultra genius, which is really useful in terms of tech. But at the same time, yeah, no. They're really annoying. But with that actual improvement, we now have the ability to create proper exploration ships. And a what bubble generator? Yay! Some movement and now a ton of fuel. There you go, we've upped the small fuel cells to 30, a few more iron thrusters and some basic armour onto the forward scout. Excellent. Oh, actually, oh no, they don't actually have enough power. That's one thing I always forget. You need to make sure they have enough power to operate the, the reactor. Let's take a couple of the iron thrusters down. Upgraded the fleet auxiliary to have some guns on it and some basic defences as well. Very useful. And now go and put on the private sector as well some warp technology. Double the cargo capacity, improve the fuel. Yep. Okay, so I've massively increased the actual cargo capacity, put a bit more fuel on, improved the reactor, and added a bubble generator on as well there. These are looking a lot nicer. How many crew? Wow. That's quite a lot more crew you need. But they are almost twice as expensive, but 3 times the cargo capacity. Right, there we go. Upgrade the medium. And now to the large. Good range, bit of okay fuel, not really great at anything, but it takes a while for these guys to actually get going. Okay, I've improved my actual gas tanker a fair bit, again increasing the cargo, made it a bit faster, though it's actually still really slow. Oh yeah, only one fission reactor. I keep forgetting that, only one fission reactor. I need the 2 to actually keep the speed up. It's still actually a little bit slow overall, but it will do. Similarly for the mining craft, so up that, up that. There we go. So the miner is pretty much the same in the ore prospector. Bit of shields, bit of defences. All in all, pretty much similar sort of design. My favourite cheaper actually. Why is that? Directional thrusters. I've only got 5 on the mining one. Let's double that up. There we go. It's looking a lot neater now. And there we go. That is probably a good place to leave off. So we now have warp technology, allowing us to move out of this system and start exploring the greater universe or galaxy. And we shall see where that takes us in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching this episode of Distance World Universe with myself and Diffin. If you did enjoy the episode, please leave a like and or comment below, as it is always great to hear from you lot. Otherwise, that's it from me for now, and I shall see you next time. But until then, I'm out. Goodbye.